by the day, getting more and more interested in the NBA draft. It's around the corner.
Day by day by day by day.
And it's June 11th. Our team has the 11th pick in the NBA draft.
That they do.
And so
it is 2 weeks from today.
Yesterday, something caught my eye. Okay. What was it, Sprague? I'll tell you.
Yeah.
Calm down. Ladies, easy. There's a lot of me to go around. Igor Demon of the BYU Cougars, the freshman phenom. He's in the NBA draft. He received a green room invite, which means potential lottery pick. Where are we picking?
In the lottery.
What do we like?
Lengthy wings.
Who are white
Who are
can
white.
handle the
That
rock.
is true. We do love them. Yep.
And this kid's interesting because he's still so young. He's got some areas that you're kind of like, how's that going to go? But he got the invite to the room, and he doesn't do that unless enough teams told the NBA, yeah, he is on our big board. Now, yesterday I was reading something because tomorrow we might have a couple NBA guests as well because there's somebody that I was reading, Jeremy Woo of ESPN, who famously we've had on many a time. He's an NBA draft pundit for ESPN. Him and Jonathan Gavoni, they were doing articles for lottery teams, and it was basically team needs and who best fits the team need. Now, I believe I have this correct. Gavoni last year was telling us Donovan Clingan. Who worked with Jonathan Gavoni? Just,
the guy calling the shots who's not the GM.
Now, I think some people would tell you, Sprague, he's not talking to him like that anymore. And I'd say, yeah, right, dude. Yeah. We would still talk like that if you went and got a gig somewhere else.
We absolutely would.
So whatever Gavoni puts out, I think we need to really keep an eye on. And him and Jeremy Woo didn't want to have the same name, so they gave us two to watch. Okay? Jeremy Woo's was the Yakachonis.
Yeah, the dude from Illinois.
Yeah, the 6'6" kid from Illinois. He's very similar to Igor Demon. He can do a lot of the similar things. But Jonathan Gavoni, former coworker of Mike Schmidt's, who's probably going to make the pick for the Blazers, Igor Demon.
Yeah.
True shooting percentage, 51.3, says the Blazers don't appear to have any immediate needs that can be filled with a player drafted in this range, but they might be intrigued as Demon, who has the size and versatility to play on or off the ball, can slide across different positions and can grow alongside Portland's young core long term.
Hey, look at us.
So kid gets the invite to the green room. Former coworker writes, this might be the fit. Just saying, might be the guy. Might be the pick.
Connect some dots. I mean, for everything that I've said negative about the organization, the one thing that they have made a point of emphasis that I do agree with, that I think they've done a much better job of, is getting longer and getting more athletic. That has been one of their focal points of building this roster. And Kamara's a great example of that. Denny Avdia is a little bit bigger, right? Like, it's not just 6'2" guards and under that they're trying to build a team around, and there's not three of them in the starting lineup. For that, I will give them a round of applause because they deserve it. And when you're looking at draft picks who you might be able to take with the 11th overall pick, this dude fits the bill perfectly for what they're looking for. I mean, he's a 6'9", I think he measured, right, at the combine.
I think he's 6'8" in socks.
Okay, 6'8" in socks. So you're going, what, 6'9", 6'10" in shoes, right? Yeah. He's 200 pounds. He's got a good build. You would imagine he could put on some more weight. So I think that kind of just gets you intrigued immediately. And then it becomes a question similar to all these guys who are that size and have that build. You know that there's going to be a strength that you can lean on in the NBA, and that is your length and your athleticism and all of that. Can you turn into an offensive player? You can give me the true shooting percentage, and that's great. It's not terrible in college. He also shot 27%, I believe, from three last year at BYU. And so is he a guy that can take that number and turn it into hey, you're a borderline 35% three-point shooter or 34%, where it's respectable at least, or are you going to be a sub-30 kind of guy for the majority of your careers? It's a hard one to solve for NBA organizations, but when you tell me what his measurables are, and then you give me the track record for this front office, he's somebody that makes a lot of sense at number 11.
Yeah, it just makes, because look, the shooting thing I can't speak to. Whether he can develop or be a good NBA three-point shooter, I don't know, man. Like, I can't translate college to the NBA. It's not always. Guys have
been bad and then ended up being good,
right.
And guys have been good and ended up being bad. You have no clue.
So it's not always something that's going to, cross over. You do got players that do, but not everybody will. I think what's interesting about him is just the ability to maybe handle the ball.
Yeah, it's 6'9",
create opportunities for other players, and the fact that he's so young, which is really interesting in itself because we know the team. I wouldn't say lying, but I think the team was kind of exaggerating itself a little bit with where they're at. I know they had a better year than people expected. I'll raise my hand on that one.
Sure.
But we still largely look at this team as young, even though they still have all the vets. So he fits the mold of building up while still having so much experience on the roster, which is a really odd thing.
Yeah, you're kind of in between two timelines again a little bit because you're telling us that you want to take a big step, but this guy's not whoever you take, whether it's Demon or somebody else, you're probably not going to be a huge part of the rotation. I mean, you took Klingon.
He has to be.
Yeah, I mean, they took Klingon with the 7th overall pick. He didn't play more than 10 minutes for the first 2 months of the year last year.
100%. You're right. No, yeah, we don't need to get into this. I don't know how you don't draft a 6'9" guy and play him 14 minutes or more.
Is Jeremy Grant still here?
I don't.
Is Kamara still going to be here? Denny Avdia is still going to be here?
Kamara's in the starting lineup, all that stuff.
He is. I'm not saying he's not going to play, but I don't expect him to be a huge impact guy right away.
Now, I don't know how to interpret it, but Danny yesterday said on his show that he thinks the Blazers have to make a decision on the Scoot Ant thing now.
I mean, they should have a while ago, but
I
would hope so.
Yes.
Now, at this point, you wouldn't bring all of them back again next year.
If you were to push your chips in the middle, where do you guys think they would lean on that?
I think they would lean on keeping Ant and trading Scoot. If I had to gamble on it, that would be
Swag,
the bet
where
I would
you
place.
gamble on that? If they put their chips in and you're trying to guess Joe Cronin.
Yeah, it's not what I would do.
No, it's not what you would do. It's what you would guess Cronin would do. You're betting on his bet. You put your chips in. Are you placing it? Let's view it as roulette. Are you placing it on Ant or Scoot?
I'm placing it on Ant because they re-upped Chauncey, and Chauncey has really shown hesitancy to go with Scoot when the chips are on the line.
Not to mention the fact that Shaden Sharp is contract extension eligible this offseason.
That would be so crazy to have the 3rd pick in the draft moved at this point.
I mean, here's what I'll say.
Not that we haven't done it before.
If you internally have that belief behind the scenes, you can't
second guess.
Scare money, don't make money.
I agree with that.
Is that the saying? Did I say the saying right? In my cool hip T-shirt. Scare money, don't make money.
You just made it worse by bringing up the T-shirt, but yes, you said it correctly.
Like, if he's not the guy and you know that he's not the guy, or you have a strong belief behind the scenes that he's not the guy, then move his ass now.
You can't worry about what you, I, or anybody else in this city would say about trading the 3rd pick and how you whiffed on it.
No.
If you don't think he's ever going to reach whatever ceiling you thought he was going to have.
Trade him before the stock depreciates to that
and you
level.
believe the guy that can get a bucket, even if he's not the best distributor or the best defender, if you think he better serves your purpose, yeah, you can't be too concerned of what pundits or fans on Reddit think, man.
No.
You got to react the best way possible. So when Danny said that yesterday, I kept thinking, I could be off. Maybe it's just a complete youth movement eventually, but
that would be pretty ironic.
I feel like it's Ant.
It'd be pretty ironic if you held on to all the vets, and then you make your youth movement now in a draft class next year. They won't be as good as the one this year. Like, you could have done all of this last offseason.
Yeah,
you know?
I tend to agree.
That's what all of us argued of maybe let's play the kids and get rid of some of the vets that are on your roster. And make
but maybe
more
by
sense.
keeping Chauncey, to Swag's point, maybe that is the change here. It's not just that they won more games than we expected. It's, hey, there's some things here that are really good, right? We would agree with that. There are some things that are really good about this.
No doubt about it.
So maybe they're like, look, why lean in with something that might bring us down more?
Yeah.
You could still add youth. The 2 timeline thing is a real thing, but you can have younger players play with some veteran players. Yeah. And it's not like Ant is 38.
No.
You know, he's 25 years old, so you'd be adding Demon to it and be like, hey, that guy's been in the league 7 going on 8 years, but he's only 6.5, 7 years older than you. You could totally do that.
Yeah, he's Anthony Simons is 26.
26, thank you. Okay, so he's 6, 7 years older than him.
Yeah.
Or 8 years, whatever it is. He has enough experience, but he's still not like super old.
Yeah, he's going into year 8 in the NBA, which is pretty wild that he's been around for that long, because it doesn't. But maybe part of me feels like it's longer than that, and part of me feels like it's shorter than that. He's one of those weird players because he didn't play a ton early on, and now we've seen him kind of be the focal point the last couple off seasons. I just from a base level of like giving me an olive branch as a fan, one of those guards has to be gone.
I tend to agree with that.
It has made no sense to me. You took back-to-back guys in the top 10. You kept Anthony Simons around. He's going into an expiring year on his contract. I keep being told that there's value there. There should be teams out there. I see these random reports all the time. The insert team here is sniffing around Anthony Simons because they want a ball-dominant guard that can go score. There are situations out there that make sense for him, whether it's him or Scoot. I'm okay with it. The whole idea of having, whether it be Scoot Henderson being the 3rd overall pick coming off the bench going into year 3 in the NBA, or Shaedon Sharpe, who, by the way, is going into a contract year. What do you do with Shaedon Sharpe this offseason? I don't think you're giving him the extension.
Oh, I'm not giving him an extension.
Right?
Yet.
So then you're going into restricted free agency. So you're basically
unless you're getting him on a super cheaper deal. Like if you can get him to get whatever that number is that's cheap, and next year we go, still not an amazing, but like that's good value.
Sure. Yeah, that's also a risk because you don't know exactly what he's going to be. It's just there's a gamble that's involved in that. And so you got a guy who is a top 10 pick going into a contract year. I'd love to see every minute possible that he could play. I saw an interview with Chauncey the other day that he did with K2, and he said, I want Shaedon Sharpe to pick up where he left off and not have to start over again. And I know he was coming off the injury, and the start of the year wasn't great for him. He played better as the year went on. But part of that is being allowed the runway to go play 38 minutes a night and be the primary shot creator and have the ball in crunch time situations to fully figure out what the hell do we have here? And are we going to give this guy $30 million a year, whether you do it this offseason or as a restricted free agent? Like, you have to be able to make those calls. And so base level Olive Branch is getting rid of one of those guards, whether it be Ant or Scoot, and then just picking your backcourt and going from there.
I just think the Chauncey extensions changed a lot of this. The thinking for me has changed, certainly, of, okay, this is not going the direction I thought it would. It's pivoted.
Yep.
They've taken a different turn in the road. And so I think with Chauncey being the coach, there's more things on the table than I think we thought would be on the table at this point. Igor Demon, though, I will just say, I'm saying his name right, Swag? Igor Demon? Or is it Demon?
I thought it was Demon.
Okay.
But
correct. Demon is way cooler.
Demon is
That's
cooler.
kind of a disappointment.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'd prefer Demon.
I'd use his face and make him a demon and sell it as merch.
That has to be a thing. He, by the way, just turned 19 in March.
Okay.
So he will be 19 for a huge chunk of his
His
rookie year.
university also just got blacklisted by Russia.
Oh, did they? He's from Russia.
He's a Moscow.
Yeah,
He's a Moscow
he's
kid.
a Muscovite.
Is that not weird? Why would they
Is
blacklist?
that a Mormon thing?
What is Russia? They have a religion?
Orthodox?
Well, the official religion used to be atheism back in the day. So.
Yeah. Communism is their religion?
No, I mean, I can't. But you,
Vladimir Putin is their god?
yeah. Well, at this point, he's telling you he is.
Yeah, I'm Jesus.
I saw that random, like, they blacklisted BYU, and it was like, what does this mean?
I don't know what that means.
For Igor.
Maybe they're not happy about Igor's choice in BYU.
Having a kick-ass Igor on your team.
That'd be cool. He's got a great name.
Yeah.
That he wins the name, lottery.
Demon.
I believe so.
Thank you. You should have corrected me. I'm not going to pretend that I watched a ton of BYU basketball this year.
Well, we'll talk to a BYU guy in an hour, and we'll
We
figure
do.
out. Hey,
Ben
how do you
Bagley.
pronounce his last name?
I think Swag
Let's
is
start
right.
there.
Every time I said demon, I'm
Let me
like,
see
I think
if
it's
they've
Demon.
got the draft media guide up.
You went from super confident to now you're shaky.
No, he is.
I
yeah.
was not
Maybe he is a
super
demon.
Riggins is
confident.
questioning
I
everything.
I thought I had
Riggins
heard
is everywhere.
Demon.
Confidence is low.
No,
But,
Demon sounds
You know why it's low? It's because he's not wearing a cool T-shirt like I am.
That's exactly
If he was
his
wearing a cool
problem.
shirt like this, he
Yeah.
would have known immediately.